Music tempo. Tempo is an Italian word for time. Tempo is telling us the speed of the beat of a piece of music. So essentially, it's telling us how fast a song is being played or heard. Another way to express tempo is through BPM, something we're probably a little more familiar with. Tempo is not the number of beats in a bar, that is the time signature. Also, tempo does not change when rhythms get more or less complex. What does that mean? It means that if the song starts slow and kind of basic, let's hum something you kind of have dun 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 dun, and then all of a sudden it picks up, and now there's more notes being played. Dun 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 dun. Well, the speed of the music just changed. It must be a tempo change. Well, no, not necessarily. That could be the same tempo, but you went from playing quarter notes to now you're playing eighth notes in the second version. So that's that sort of thing you gotta realize. Basically, a tempo is telling you the entire song, or it would most likely be a large portion or a large section of the song. So if you're hearing your song and all of a sudden the entire new section gets noticeably faster, there's a good chance there's a tempo change. As you familiarize yourself with this more and more, you begin to realize what is what, and it becomes less confusing. So with time, this should all just sort of sink in. Tempo has a very big impact on the feel or style of the music that we're listening to. So for example, if we have techno music is normally played very fast. If you get your favorite techno song and you now want to play it very elegant and very slow, well, it's not really the feel or the style of the song. Then on the flip side, if we take like a romantic ballad, like music you'd dance to a lover with, it's slow. Now imagine we sped it up to the same speed like we would techno. That would be a little interesting to dance to. Okay, so how do we know what tempo a piece is in? Well, this is when you're looking at the music, there are two things to look for. One would be a tempo marking. These are mostly Italian words. There are a lot more words for tempos, but here are 5 of the very common ones that you will probably see. So first we have adagio, which is slow, and slow is based off of walking. So think of all these as based off of walking. So we have adagio, a slow walking pace, andante, a regular walking pace, moderato, quite quick, allegro, fast, and presto, very fast. Again, there's a lot more of these. Our second thing to look for would be a metronome marking. A metronome marking tells us the beats per minute are BPM. Here's a way that is often symbolized. So a quarter note is worth 1 beat. So this is telling us 1 beat is equal to 120, which means there are 120 beats per minute, otherwise known as 120 BPM. So if a tempo does change, how do we know? Well, again, we have 2 things to look for. The first thing to look for would be a sudden change in tempo. So that would be depicted with a new tempo or metronome marking. An example of that would be if we went from adagio to allegro. In other words, slow to fast. Or in terms of BPM, we go from 120 BPM to 105 BPM. Our second thing to look for would be a gradual change in tempo. So there are some different words for this. I'm going to tell you the abbreviated because I don't really want to pronounce the word wrong. Okay, so we have accel, which is telling us to speed up. We have ral or rit, which is telling us to slow down. Then we have a tempo. A tempo is telling us to return to the original tempo. And yes, it is actually drawn with the A in front of it, so a tempo. And keep in mind, this is all based off the tempo that you're already in. So let's say we're already in adagio, we're playing slow. So now our accel is just going to tell us to speed up from that slow pace. Then if we have our ral or our rit, that's just going to tell us to slow down from that already slow pace. A tempo tells us to return to that original tempo that we were in. So here's a little visual example of what I was talking about. This piece of music starts in adagio, so it's nice and slow. And then once you get to this line, we're at allegro, so we're going to start going fast now. Then our second example, this piece of music is starting in andante, which is a walking pace. So we have a nice walking pace until we get to this measure. And now it's telling us slow down. So we slow down these 3 notes. Bum, bum, bum. And then a tempo, we go back to that andante speed for the rest of the song. Okay, and here are some more examples of different types of tempos. That is the end of this tempo lesson. If you have any questions about tempo, anything you'd like to tell me, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Have a good one.